We brought up the topic. We talked about profiling, then we brought up the topic about racism. Rob gave an explanation of that we use racism as a scapegoat in a sense, what the real issues are. So I want us to go in depth about this Trayvon Martin issue. We talked about what profiling is and is it okay, and we pretty much agree that profiling is okay, because it keeps us safe in a sense. And living in the United States and living in this country, you have to give up certain rights indirectly in order to feel that safety. In a sense, that's the country that we live in. The United States. You give up those rights to feel safe, to gain other things. So to start with the the Trayvon Martin case, we asked, or it's been asked, is this racism?
No.
And I look at it and it's not solely racism, but that's the topic. Well, is this true racism? And I don't think that people know. I think that people assume, and they're stirred up as a result, but they're not doing the homework. I think that more so than racism, what it is it's the lack of the consequence. That's the real issue. That there was no consequence behind what he actually did, not necessarily racism.
Well, there's two topics. I hear some people saying that Zimmerman's a racist.
Sure.
And I hear people saying that the cops and the whole police department in Florida are racist. So my question is, does any of us think there was any racist plan at any point?
I think there was. I think race played a big part in it, because if you have a particular neighborhood, and because all of the facts aren't available to us through the media, we don't know exactly what Zimmerman saw for him to feel threatened. We don't know exactly what Trayvon was doing for him to pose a threat. It was the simple fact that it was a black kid in a gated community, and it's been said that Zimmerman was out to get, he was tired of being a victim of black people doing certain things in this neighborhood.
He was a vigilante.
Right. He was a self-appointed neighborhood watchman. And for him to not be, anytime we have a crime, regardless of if we suspect it to be self-defense, we always take this person into custody. We relinquish,
But you're in Maryland though. Hold
right.
on though. But you're in Maryland, and right
but
now you can't even shoot anybody on their way out of your house in Maryland. But in Florida,
law enforcement
it's different.
should, and this is the problem with law enforcement. From state to state to state, it should be the same when it comes to such a sensitive situation. A man's life was taken.
Sure.
So, here in Maryland, in Baltimore City, whenever we have a shooting, and the person that did the shooting is still on scene, that weapon is still on scene, that person is taken into custody, that weapon is seized, there's crime scene evidence that is collected. A thorough investigation is done. All that is public records.
Well, all of that was done though.
Well, here's the issue. I think it's the biggest thing. I don't think it's a racism. We talked about, across the board it being, uniform. And it's more of an issue with the system failed. It's inequality in the system. I think it's
the justice system?
The justice system. Inequality in the justice system. The fact that there wasn't an arrest. There wasn't, honestly, I will go on record to say it won't be a trial. There won't be a trial.
You don't think so?
It's too many different stories. It's too many. And had there been, at this point, had there been enough evidence of individuals to say, oh, he shot this person in cold blood, he'd have been on trial.
I disagree with everything.
Is this reminiscent of O.J. trial?
No.
That's something totally different.
First of all, the O.J. Simpson trial, from my recollection, and obviously I was in middle school. Now the whole O.J. trial was the idea, the uproar about it was, police officers have been doing this to. They were holding on to that fact. They've been doing this to us for years. Planting this on us, planting that on us, and the whole time, we can sit here and say, you know, he got off for double murder. At the end of the day, 2 people were dead. 2 individuals were dead. Now, at the end of the day, he got off for, you know, for double murder, but there was a lot of evidence pointing towards him that, you know,
So
he
why
possibly could've-
isn't there a lot of evidence towards Zimmerman being
Trayvon Martin.
Well, no, we know for a fact that he killed him.
right?
We know for a fact that he killed him. But the point is, that law is, you know, stand your ground.
Whether or not it was self.
Whether it was
Self-defense.
the idea was
That's the difference.
was it self-defense? So you have no one who can dispute that. All you have is a recording. You have a recording of a person yelling for help. You can't verify that's Zimmerman. You can't verify that's a child, regardless of if the mother is saying, "Oh, that's my baby."
But you don't think that the end result of the whole situation of this young kid losing his life was not fueled by Zimmerman's own personal.
I don't
I don't think that.
listen,
I don't think that it. I think that kid.
If he was white, would he have gotten shot?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think that kid was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I think that he was looking to seek some sort of justice because it wasn't being done. And he was out that night for a reason, to capture whoever did it. Not necessarily kill them. I think that when Trayvon Martin, and this is you know, I wasn't there, I don't know, but I think that when Trayvon Martin appeared in this gated community, he said, "That's my guy," because of all of these different things that happened. You know, all of the small facts that he had, you know, it happens at night, you know, or, you know, he made Trayvon Martin fit that description. And then I think that once Trayvon Martin either turned around, they had an interaction, or, you know, whatever, he was intimidated by that kid. Partially because he was black. I don't know if he was bigger than this dude or not, but I think that intimidated him. And I think that he wanted to serve justice. He felt as though I have to serve justice because the police not doing their job.
So if he is on the phone with a dispatcher who works with the police, who pretty much knows police protocol.
The hero not trying to hear that.
When
He
it
was
comes,
being a hero.
When it comes to certain situations,
He was being a hero.
What was he being a hero of?
He was neighborhood watch.
He was neighborhood watch.
This kid,
He wanted to be a cop.
We weren't there, so we don't know if this kid was walking in the middle of the street, if he was behind someone's house, if he was crossing properties. So how and where did he pose a threat to this person if he's walking away?
It wasn't about posing a threat. This is what happened.
So what is it about?
I'm gonna tell you what it's
If
about.
he,
This guy,
how does he feel that he has to be the hero if he doesn't feel threatened?
dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. There was a guy, Towson Mall, security guard, no gun, came up to me trying to show authority to me. I showed him my ID and told him he better get away from my car. Okay. It's about the fact
What were you
that
doing at the time he pulled you up?
he was talking to a cop. He was talking to a car on the side, holding up traffic. I was trying to go around. As I was trying to go around, he decided to spin and go back to the mall. And he was right in front of my car. And he looked at me like, "Really?" And came towards me. Okay? I didn't do anything wrong. But this is my thing. This is what I'm trying to get at. No, it's not. I'm going to tell you why.
He was asserting his authority.
Exactly. That's all this guy was doing.
He had no authority.
He is authority. He is the neighborhood watch.
No. He was not.
Listen.
He was a self-appointed neighborhood watch.
Self-appointed
He
neighborhood
never
watch.
had no position.
But he was doing it since 2005. He's called 911 46 times since then. Everybody knows him as Neighborhood Watch. He has a permit to carry.
So
This
he's
is what he did.
self-appointed.
He is self-appointed.
But does that give him the right to take this kid's life?
No,
Absolutely.
but that doesn't mean he did it for. We're not questioning if he had the right. We know he did it. But for racist, to me, no. There was a spike in his neighborhood, and he took this personally.
So whether or not it was a white, beige, brown, purple, he would have did the
I'm gonna
same
tell you
thing.
why I
Yes or
disagree
no?
with racism. No,
Yes
I'm
or
gonna tell you, no, and I'm gonna say why. Because I disagree. I don't think there was any racism that played a part in this. I don't think Zimmerman's a racist because you're not a racist for all your whole life, and that not one black person has shown up since this whole Trayvon Martin thing has come up and said he discriminated against me in the
Right, I
neighborhood.
agree.
That never happened. And on top of that, when it comes to how they handled it, the police department. First off, they said they never arrested him. They did. They said they never took him in for questioning. They did. Now all the pictures are surfacing 48 minutes after the event happened. They got him in handcuffs in a police department with pictures showing his nose not bleeding and the back of his head not bleeding. So he was taken in for questioning. Now, here's the question. In Florida, your self-defense law is totally different than how it is in Maryland. So you got this Mexican guy in here. He's got a permit to carry. It was a black guy, a kid, that he was trying to figure out what was going on. He shot him. Now, he's crying self-defense. Nobody's here to dispute it. They find out who he is, find out who his father is. The father's a judge.
Mother's a clerk.
Mother's a clerk. Oh, we got a guy in here. He was permitted to have that weapon. We can't prove that it's not self-defense, and his dad's a judge and his mom's a clerk. We might want to let this guy go.
Exactly.
It wasn't like, you shot him? Yeah. Was it self-defense? Yeah, all right, go ahead home. That's how we painted it.
Right.
But now that everything's coming out right.
That's how the media paint it, and that's how people look at the media and take it for face value.
If that was a young white punk with a record of marijuana and all that, he'd still be home right now. Period.
Yep.
He'd be home right now. But the thing is, he had parents in high places. He had a permit to carry. Everybody knew him for the last 6 to 7 years as being a neighborhood watch with a permit to carry. Never shot anybody before.
Did you also hear the reports that there were neighbors that were complaining about his aggressiveness towards certain races? You didn't hear that?
No.
There's been reports that
And that's the issue, because you hear it's so much hearsay.
Because you don't know.
There's no definitive answer to anything.
I still think,
and there's going to be an outcry. If I commit a crime today, right? If I go out here and I blow somebody's brains out, cold murder, I get off. You're going to have the people who know me are going to rally around me and say, look, this dude is a stand-up guy. He's X, Y, Z. Then you're going to have the people who think they know me and going to pick out every small thing that I did wrong in my life. Oh, no, because, when he was 21 years old, he punched the dude in his nose for nothing and he was drunk. He had tendencies to be an alcoholic. But I was drinking at a party. Stuff like that. So those things are going to come up. And, when you're looking at evidence, you got to look at evidence. Look at evidence, look at law. Not what Jane Doe said, not what John Doe said. You have to look at fact and evidence, because it's not about what you think. It's about what you can prove, and it's about what actually took place, period. And like Rob said, protocol was definitely done. However, it wasn't done to the satisfaction of the everyday citizens, liking. The average American, like, whoa, you didn't do X, Y, and Z. But how do you know that? You going by based on the media. So, like Rob said, there were 48 minutes later, they showed him in handcuffs in there, and several minutes later or half an hour after that, they showed him leaving. Okay. Florida's law is different than Maryland's law. Okay. It's not the same. So you can't say, well, in Maryland, no. You have to go by that town. That's what their laws are. And when he went in, yes, it's a kid did. The only two people know exactly what happened is that dead kid and that dude that's sitting next to you. Okay? Then what happens is, as Rob pointed out, okay, his father is a judge. His mother is a clerk. Do we want this media attention? Okay? Because judges make law. Okay? They set the precedent about what's happening. Okay? They have a lot of pull. So, do you want to lose your job in this bureaucratic system?
Okay. So if Trayvon's mom was a clerk or Trayvon's dad was a judge,
it'd be handled differently.
He'd be locked up.
And so he would be locked up. It's about race.
No, it's not about race. It's about power. It's about, and I'll go into